Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hey, how are you doing, Sarah? Good morning. Good morning, Rasul. Good morning. Good morning, Jagdeep. How are you, everyone? Welcome to July 7th pre-market session. Good morning. Hey, morning, everyone. Good morning, Eliel. Welcome to July 7th pre-market session, and let's get started. Let's go over the news, the events, and the yeah, I am actually recording. All right. So yeah, let's go over the news first, and then I will go over the market and the overall market, the ETFs, the stocks, and a couple of sector analysis. So first of all, S&P 500 and Nasdaq are both pushing lower slightly, and Dow Jones is outperforming, and it is at all-time high right now, and in the pre-market it is still pushing higher. Techies overall is slowing down, and on the semiconductor side, we had Samsung's earning, which disappointed investors overnight, and that pressured Asian semiconductor, basically spilled into US chip names as well. And you will see in a few minutes that NVIDIA, AMD, AVGO, all of them, MEMU, all of them gapped down and pushed lower as a result of Samsung's earning. So that is also another big rotation here. And another important report was trade deficit, which is widened, and the previous number was minus 54 billion. Now it's minus 77, which means imports increased much faster than exports, which can slightly be a negative headline, and but it's not really that big of a deal to change Fed's expectation itself. But overall, we're seeing some sort of rotation here from the Nasdaq and tech to the Dow Jones right now, and it is clearly a rotation, right? Nasdaq is pushing lower, obviously, right? The Dow Jones is pushing higher, so it's not a panic in the market. It's technically rotation, and the destinations could be are basically now financials, industrials, healthcare, consumer staples, and you're seeing this in both sectors and also the individual stocks. Another news: JP Morgan and Bank of America are discussing acquiring Fiserv's network company. Its ticker is FI. And JPM and BAC on watch. However, they have earning in the next couple of days, so be careful if you want to either swing or trade options on them. Walmart cuts prices and announced lower prices on beef and summer food items. It slightly pushed higher, but the price action is not the probably the best. But if it gets above this 112.1617, I think Walmart could be interesting name to watch as well. Just wanted to briefly go over Walmart because I will already go over all the other tickers one by one. Overall, quiet news day so far, and where earnings season hasn't started yet. Fed speakers are limited, and there is no geopolitical headline or news. So we'll go over the individual tickers, and let's get started with SPY. SPY, what happened yesterday? We slightly pushed higher on SPY yesterday. We tried and bounced above 740 after 2-3 days of consolidating right above this 740 demand zone, and the key resistance is around this 749, 750, which we broke yesterday, and now in the pre-market, we retested this zone and we are holding right above it. So basically this zone seems like it's acting as a demand zone, right? Seems like we're holding this level as a demand, and potentially if we push higher, get above 751, there is a high chance of SPY continuing moving higher, retesting yesterday high of 752.5.6 and continue moving higher to 753, 754 area. Now that is if we hold right above 749 and ideally 750 zone. So far in the pre-market, we've been able to hold this zone. Now if we cannot hold and reject these areas, push lower, get below this 749, 750 zone, then we can potentially break down, push all the way lower, all the way down till at least 744 zone. If that happens, clearly we didn't have a clean breakout and retest and hold. In the pre-market, we don't see a strong hold, right? So we don't see a strong breakout, a retest here, and then a strong bounce back up. It didn't happen in the pre-market yet. It didn't reject it clearly and didn't push back lower as well. So we are just in the middle of this range. So we want to wait for the price to find a direction here. We want to see either buyers can take control, push the price higher, or sellers take control and push the price lower. If it stays in this range, that is not an ideal zone to trade SPY. Qs. What happened on Qs yesterday? So yesterday we slightly pushed higher on Qs as well in the morning, but then it consolidated, and technically now we are seeing it right now that it rejected yesterday's resistance range, right? This is the key resistance of 722, 725 that we're talking about, the same zone that was a massive rejection point back in end of June. It was a massive demand zone, and you can see it clearly that this zone is holding pretty well, and it did again yesterday, right? So we tried to break through this zone, we couldn't, we pushed back lower, retested the zone, and then boom, it gapped down. Now this happened because of semiconductors pushing back, but technically the technicals also worked as well. Now where are we sitting right now? We're at the demand zone on Qs, and clearly we are stuck in this range on Qs so far. So if it pushes a little bit lower, bounce above this area, it will push higher again, and we will be basically trading in this zone, in between this key demand zone of 710, 712 and this key resistance of 723, 725. Now in the pre-market, we don't see any clear dominance on sellers or by buyers yet, but we're very close to the demand zone. So possible scenarios might happen would be a pushback down till this 710, 11 zone and a bounce above this area, or we might slightly push higher, get above pre-market high, get above 718, 19 and retest 723, 724, 5 resistance again. So why did this basically pushback happen? You can see it in SMH clearly, right? SMH semiconductors, and this is going to be resistance. This is a semiconductor ETF, kind of telling you the whole story on semiconductor names. And as I explained, Samsung's earning basically was a big reason for this pushback down in the pre-market so far. Now we are right at this 583 key zone on SMH. This is a massive level on SMH. This is 50 SMA on SMH. This is the previous all-time high on SMH that it held multiple times, that the price reacted to this level multiple times. If this level breaks, we can go down till 565 and then ultimately around this 552, 555 ish zone on SMH. If that happens, if this weakness continues and sellers can push the price lower below this 580, 81 area. Okay. As I said, this is a massive demand zone. We might also bounce above this zone. So if we push slightly lower and fake out and push all the way higher, we might bounce and go for a retest of 610.15 on SMH as well. Now, Dow Jones is on fire, right? Dow Jones is just like moving higher and higher. Just made new all-time high yesterday, and it gapped up, and it's moving even higher right now. So definitely Dow Jones is super strong. The price action in the intraday is not the best and the cleanest, honestly, but it is basically moving really strong. So we are right at this 532.5 area, and that is clearly the all-time high. So above this level on watch for possible continuation. The key zone on watch as a demand would be around this 530 and 531-ish area on Dow Jones if you are interested in trading it. So it will be right around these zones, and the all-time high is the clear resistance, right? And it already broke, and it's pushing higher, which is really wild. So yeah, Dow Jones super strong. We don't have any clear levels above this zone. It's at all-time high. So in case of breaking this pre-market high, we might continue running a Dow Jones. If it pulls back down, the key demand zone is 529, 530. Now let's take a look at a couple of individual tickers. Apple started running after this massive dip. It just started squeezing, pushing all the way higher. Some like 2-3 massive green days on Apple, and we are back at this resistance of 313, 316, 17 right now. So we had the massive rally, and we are at this resistance zone. Now, the main thing that I would be watching would be price reaction to this zone. Okay, so we didn't break this zone yet. We are right in the middle of a resistance area, and we are already overextended on Apple. So the possibility of seeing a rejection is there. Now, if we see Apple rejecting this zone, getting below 313, possibly we could see Apple pushing back down till 310, or even maybe down till 307 ish areas. That is possible. But if we break through this zone, and if the demand strength still exists, and we push higher above 316.17 area and hold above the zone, then we're gonna probably rally on Apple for new all-time highs. So we'll see what happens on Apple. This zone's reaction definitely on watch. Tesla, what a wild price action in the last 4 or 5 trading days, right? A massive run, a crazy sell-off, and now we bounce back up very strongly on Tesla again. We are rejecting 200 SMA, which is right around this 418.19 area, and if we keep rejecting it, well, we might push back down again and sell off again. So the key zones would be 413 as the first key level, right around here on Tesla. And well, this whole zone is actually a pretty strong zone, and it is holding right above it right now. So now again, this zone is acting as a demand until it breaks this whole level and push lower. Now, the key resistance on watch would be right around this 418 till 420 zone. Now we need to break that, which is basically yesterday's high and the 200 SMA that we have, and it's historically this 420 is a pretty strong critical point on Tesla as well, right? So this is a key zone that we will need to watch on Tesla that if it breaks, we can potentially move higher, hit 425.26, and then move higher toward this resistance zone that we clearly rejected multiple times. And the last time we almost touched this zone, but selling pressure was crazy, pushed the price back down. So yeah, so the key zone on watch, 418, 419, 420 as a key resistance. 413 is a key demand zone down till 408, 409. And yeah, definitely Tesla on watch for a possible for another possible surprise there. NVIDIA, now you're seeing semiconductors weakness here, right? NVIDIA pushed back down, gap down in the pre-market. As you see, yesterday we closed right there. We are opening right here. Now we're very close to the 200 SMA and the key demand on NVIDIA. So the possibility of bounce is a lot, but if we break, this thing can really sell off, right? If we break potentially below this 191, we can go down till 189, 190 zone, right around these areas. And we have this hole as a zone, right? And if that breaks, we can go down till 188 and even finally 185 on NVIDIA. That is going to be a massive sell-off. But if we hold here above this 192.3 level, we can go up and retest 195, 196. Google is reclaiming above 365. This is a really strong price action on Google. I like how Google is breaking this trend line and holding above the moving averages right now. It is still below the 50 SMA, and it is rejecting it, just rejected it in the, I guess, pre-market, right? Yeah, in the pre-market. But if we get above this 371, Google could be a strong name for a retest of 376 and then finally 380. And this could be a really good rally if it actually breaks out of this zone. We are technically getting out of this. We are technically breaking this bull flag and getting ready for a possible run, which I think it could be a pretty interesting price action if it breaks above this 371 zone. AMD, you see the weakness, right? We rejected this resistance zone and pushed back down. Not the cleanest price action at this point, in my opinion. Yeah, there are a lot of other names that we will talk about. So yeah, AMD is weak in the pre-market so far, but it is right at the demand zone, and we have been stuck in this range for so long. So I'm not really a fan of AMD at this point. Honestly, if we slightly push back lower and hit this 506, 510 zone, excuse me. Okay. Yeah. So if we pull back down to this zone, then we might see a bounce and reversal scenario, but not a fan of it. Intel is also pulling back right into the demand zone here. The weakness is there, and Intel is right at 50 SMA on daily chart, which is right around this 115. If we break that, then we can get some selling pressure on Intel, but the potential of bounce is also really high there. So Intel is right in the middle of a demand zone, key demand zone. The 119.5 on watch for a possible bounce and continuation, pushing higher, retesting 121, 123 zone. But if we get below this 115, we might get some sort of selling pressure on Intel. Meta reclaimed above a 600 zone, which is pretty nice. And if we get above this 607, 608, we can go for another push higher up till 623, 624. For shorting scenario, I do not like it at this point, honestly. Oops. I do not like it at this point. I would like to see it maybe below this 580 zone if it gets around those areas and push lower for a possible short scenario. We are clearly holding above the key zone and the structure is changing. We held above 580. Now we are reclaiming above 600. So I want to see this 600 zone hold, push higher, get ready for a breakout of this 608 area. MU, yeah, weak like other semiconductor names, as you see, and we are actually setting up a little bit better compared to all the other names on MU. We are rejecting this 950 area finally, right? We pushed down, we broke below 950, we retested 950, and now we're rejecting 950. If that rejection continues, we can go down till 850, 60. First we have 890 as a key demand zone, and then we can go down till 860 on MU, right? That could be a pretty good name to possibly focus on if you want to go against the semiconductors. Okay. Microsoft is also reclaiming. It also basically held 385. It is retesting 392 zone. If it keep holding this zone, we might go for a possible push higher all the way up till 401. I want to go over Amazon and quickly go over a couple of banks as well. Amazon consolidation here, I want to see it out of 250 or maybe below this 230 zone. So it's far from there. PLTR held 126, 128 yesterday really well. We are right at 50 SMA on PLTR, right at this key zone, and it seems like it is holding that level. Now, 136 is a key resistance on PLTR, but if we break it, we can go up till 139, 140 and push even higher potentially, because we will basically break through a couple of these massive resistance zones, and if we break that 140, 141, this thing can run all the way up till 145 and even 150. So PLTR at a very interesting point. I like the strength in the last couple of days, so it could be another name on watch. JP Morgan, you can see the sector rotation here, right? JP Morgan super strong, and it had a news as well. So right above this 343.2.3 is, which is the all-time high. We can push higher and possibly see new all-time high on JP Morgan, but first we need to see the this zone's breakout. Bank of America, it is at all-time high right now, right? And we pushed higher, we made new all-time high yesterday, super strong, and now in the pre-market we gapped up even a little bit higher. We are pushing back down, so if it holds around 60 zone, 59.5, 59.9, 60, around these areas, it can still continue pushing higher. Now all of these names, all of these banks are having earning in the next couple of trading days next week, right? So if you want to trade options, or if you want to swing them, you want to be really careful. Okay. All right, so with that being said, I think we kind of covered everything, right? So thank you guys for watching the pre-market live session. If you want to join us and trade live with us, you can check out the link in the description and trade live with us. Join our community. We have these game plans and plan for our trades every single day, and then we trade this plan live together with the team. So I hope I can see you guys in the community.